A few weeks ago, I decided to do my first ever live stream in which I would start a Pokemon Heart Gold randomized Nuzlocke. A challenge in which you can only catch one Pokemon per route and where they are considered dead after they faint. The Nuzlocke challenge has become very popular and I've watched many people complete them before, making me believe that I had the knowledge and know-how on how to beat one myself. However, due to some very small mistakes, my run was cut short a lot sooner than expected by only the slightest of margins. This is the story of my first ever Heart Gold Nuzlocke. I started confidently, choosing my first partner Pokemon where since the game was randomized, I got the choice between Beldum, Poliwag and Charmander. On first glance, Beldum seems like the best option, since it evolves into the strong Metagross. But this takes a long time and until its evolution, Beldum is stuck with only one move. Therefore, I decided to go with a more conventional starter, Charmander, who I named Firestarter because he is a fire starter that starts fires. Not long after, we ran into our rival Silver, who did make the mistake of taking Beldum and was therefore taken out easily. Now remember, this game is randomized, meaning even the wild Pokemon I get to catch are different than normal. But it was all set to keep things balanced, turning weak Pokemon into other weak Pokemon and strong Pokemon into other strong Pokemon. Therefore, I didn't end up finding anything that crazy in the first routes. I got a Pidgey on Route 29, a Hoppip on Route 46, a Feebas on Route 30 and an Igglybuff on Route 31. There was also Dark Cave, where I ran into a Finneon, but this Pokemon I was unfortunately unable to catch because Igglybuff accidentally killed it. Out of all times, why did you have to land your multi-hit move 5 times now?
Huh? 'Cause I'm perfect. I'm sharp as a needle and cute as a button.
No, you're not. You killed my fish. I hate you. I hope you die first. In fact, let me just Igglybuff herself and the Feebas weren't very useful assets, and so I decided to only train and use my first 3 members, as I did see some potential in them. Together, we successfully took on many trainers in the first route, such as the infamous Older Jar Jar. The Older Jar Jar. What's this? Oh. After conquering the first routes of the game and picking up the useless HM for Rock Smash, we gained access to more areas to catch Pokemon. This time we found a Bidoof in Bellsprout Tower, a Cyndaquil in the Ruins of Elf and a Shinx on Route 32. Catching the Shinx was a challenge however, since through the randomizer it got really good electric and rock type moves. See, the randomizer gave every Pokemon random moves as well, but made it more likely to give them moves of their own type, hence the electric type moves. But you can still get completely different things, and so Shinx ended up with Power Gem. A move I couldn't switch my sturdiest Pokemon, Firestarter, into. During my capturing attempt, Igglybuff and Feebas were unfortunately slain, but their sacrifices weren't in vain as it did allow us to catch the Shinx. Feebas, I thank you for your services. You will be missed. Igglybuff, now you know how it feels. Many inconsequential trainers such as Plasma Grunt Jinx and streamer Saitama later, it was time for our first boss battle, taking on the gym and fighting a hysterical Zack. But little did I know that this is where things would start going south. The battle started with Cyndaquil against Zack's female Nidoran. An easy win that just left Cyndaquil a bit damaged, but then Zack threw out his highest level Pokemon, an Omanyte. Lord Helix himself. I immediately recognized the threat as I was staring down this water rock type Pokemon. Types my team was not prepared for. The only one standing a chance was Shinx, who doesn't only have Intimidate and type advantage, but also is experienced in killing other Pokemon as we have seen before. But she wasn't able to do anything this time, as right after being switched in, she got one-shotted by Omanyte's Water Pulse.
Long live the king!
Her death did allow for a clean switch, and Blender the Pidgey had learned a super effective Mud Bomb earlier, being able to do some damage before also getting one-shotted. Hoppip was able to tank a few hits, but without a grass type move, she wasn't able to do a lot of damage, and neither was Bidoof. Firestarter had access to a Psychic type move, a type Omanyte doesn't resist, but even after a lucky flinch, our starter Firestarter was also taken down. In an instant, I lost 5 team members and only had Cyndaquil left to take out the by now very low Omanyte. Cyndaquil was faster and went in for the final hit, but it wasn't enough, leaving Omanyte on literally 1 HP before fainting. I lost. And you might think this loss was inevitable, considering the matchup with what I was given in this randomizer, but there actually were 3 mistakes that if I didn't make, could have prevented me from losing the entire thing. Did you catch all 3 of them? Mistake 1 was probably the biggest mistake of the entire run. Not capturing the Finneon in Dark Cave. Finneon probably wouldn't have been able to take down Omanyte either, but resisting the water type, it definitely would have been able to take a few hits, being a more useful and smarter asset than going in with 2 pure fire types. Mistake 2 was wasting my Shinx. I knew from the start that my team had a rock type weakness. In fact, this weakness is what made catching Shinx so difficult. Recognizing the threat, I should have sacrificed one of my Pokemon, allowing Shinx to come in on a clean switch, enabling her to do some big damage to the Omanyte. And finally, mistake 3 was ignoring the tools I was given. An NPC had given me the move Rock Smash, a move that would have been super effective against Omanyte, but I had simply ignored it, fully aware of my rock type weakness. I could have taught this move to Firestarter, or even Bidoof. It definitely wouldn't have one-shotted the Omanyte, but it would have done more damage than Bidoof's resisted moves for sure, enough for the other members to then finish the job. Even though I consider myself to be pretty decent at Pokemon, as proven this day, I still have very much to learn, but that's okay, as this loss will now simply serve as experience for me. I shall simply try this again. In fact, I just started a new run live on my Twitch, link in the description. With my newfound experience, this time no one, not even Lord Helix, will be able to stop my Nuzlocke. Soon we will conquer Johto. Next we will Kanto, and eventually we will kick the Lord right off his throne. Okay, well, see ya.